productivity, winning strategies, and aligning employer-employee goals. If this sounds like something your business could use more of, then you've come to the right place. The Business Mechanic Show with your host, Vaughn Sigmund. Let Vaughn show you how to develop, improve, and jumpstart your business. So now, please welcome the host of The Business Mechanic, Vaughn Sigmund.
Welcome to the Business Mechanic Show. This is your host, Vaughn Sigmund, co-founder of Results Driven Leadership, where we provide you with the knowledge, skills, and tools you need to become a high-impact manager. Once again, today on this podcast, I'm joined by my cohorts, John Karwalke and Eric Van Doren. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
I was going back through, I was telling you guys before we got on this today, I was going back through some of the podcasts and looking at the most popular ones. And there's an indication based on downloads and listenership that there's a lot of keen interest around either the mistakes I need to avoid or the mistakes I'm making or the traits of leadership. And today we're going to talk about some of the key ways managers tank their success unknowingly. It's managers who just have not had the training opportunity, the education. We don't know what we don't know. Don't come down on yourselves. If you're doing this on purpose, come down on yourself. But today, we're going to help you try to avoid some of the common mistakes that will tank your success. Not by design, it's by just not knowing any better. So uninformed. So let's start talking about those. John, I'm going to start with you since I'm looking at you right now. What is one of the key mistakes you've seen managers in your 40 years make that's tanking their success?
Hey, first of all, I want to say that to our listeners, you guys are taking a great step here because identifying that this is an opportunity that you want to make sure that you're doing the things to make your career success, that you're here with us today. So you're taking a big first step there. So congratulations to all of you. I've seen a lot of things on and where to start. But I think a lot of times, and I hear it a ton, that seems like one of the most frequently Googled reasons people are looking to improve their management skills is time management. And I think that managers, they've been new managers especially, but managers who've been around fail to prioritize their time. And by not doing that properly, that they're suddenly that they can't react strategically. They're really forced to put out fires, and this can really lead to decreased productivity, missing deadlines, you name it. It's awful. And I know, and I even experienced that in my career. There were times when I didn't really prioritize and manage my schedule and really touch base with people. I had a lot more of those problems. So even things that I would do, and this is sometimes it was a long conversation, sometimes it was 15 minutes, but I always scheduled a time frame. I call it call rotations with my people on a weekly basis. That Eric had a call time with me every week at 11 a.m. and we had 30 minutes that was set aside, and I left 45 minutes just in case. And there was times when we got on the phone, I would cover the same couple of things, whether it's sales and expenses on a weekly basis. But sometimes those conversations would be 10 minutes because there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. Things were going great and it was swell. And sometimes those conversations would be much longer, but I always made an opportunity for people to talk to me as well and to let me know, was there anything on their mind, anything they needed to talk about? So my thought was, by doing that, it nipped things in the bud so that I didn't have the big fires to put out at a later date. And it's something that I think is really important for all of you leaders out there, is make sure that you make a point of, if it's popping around, if you're in an office setting where you can pop to people's desks for a couple minutes, or have them come in your office for a cup of coffee on a Monday morning just to get the week rolling along. But have those scheduled touch base times with your people. And I think that's going to really help you, because that way you can manage the rest of your time and really look at the things that are urgent and not urgent, and you can schedule those things, and you're not going to get the disruptions constantly. So manage your schedule. Don't react to what is going on. Be the one that's driving the bus. And I think that you'll be a lot more productive with your time management.
Super common. And I think we lose sight, and Eric, I know you want to say something about this, but when we're in the heat of battle and we're dealing with the day-to-day and this problem, and this situation, and this question, and that person, it's real easy to lose sight of our priorities, especially if we haven't established them.
Yeah.
And so it's having priorities, action plans to achieve those priorities. If you don't have that as a routine, as a management approach, you're going to struggle. And in fact, I spent 2 hours with an executive team this morning, which we do every Monday. Just to your point, John, it's scheduled at 9 o'clock on Monday mornings. We pull up their strategic plan, their priorities, their initiatives, their tasks. We all talk about it. And by the way, I'll put a link to this too. It's the best software on the planet, called Align. Please check it out. It is one of the greatest software tools to create a strategic plan and tracking a strategic plan. And it is super simple and user-friendly. I love it. I've got almost every one of my clients using this program now. That's the plug. I'll put a link in the show notes to that. But you've got to have something in writing. To your point, John, it's your priorities, and you've got to schedule time for those priorities every week. If you don't, something else is going to manage your time, and those priorities aren't going to get addressed. So great advice. Eric, what were you going to say?
Yeah, it's along the lines of that. I think there's a piece there, selfishly, when you get promoted in a new job and you've got multitude of things to do, I think there's a thing that you have to carve a time out for yourself. I think there's a thing that allows you, if you're a night person, carve that time out at night to make sure you get your stuff done, A, B, C, D. I'm a morning person, so I carved my time out early in the morning to make sure that I got my stuff done. It allowed me to free me up to have those conversations when those things happened on a dime. I at least had my stuff done. So I think that was a real important piece for time management for me. And I couldn't do it without it. It was all the difference in the world, especially
Super
being
important.
in a job. Yeah.
Super important. Knowing your high energy times and scheduling your most important activities when you got that energy. And it's also scheduling your high priority things when it works for the rest of your schedule. If there's something in your business that picks up at around a certain time during the day, don't schedule important stuff during that time. In fact, let's do this. I'm going to put some links in the show notes to some of our courses. Anybody that clicks on these links, you're going to get these courses for half price.
Nice.
And I'm going to put, already you've told me I need to put 2 in there, John and Eric. How to create and manage successful action plans will go in there, and stress reducing time management will go in there. Game changers if you're struggling with staying on top of your time. Check it out.